Hey out there! This is Wake Angel 2001 coming at you with another Sonic Boom vlog. And it's another episode that I really liked. There has not been a dud this whole season so far. Okay, so this episode is called Eggman Out. And it starts pretty banally enough with Dr. Eggman having a drilling operation. Turns out he's trying to find one of them ancient mech suits. He says they're hidden all over the place like Easter eggs, and he just can't seem to find any. Cubot Norbot suggests maybe maybe he could just build one, but then he says that means that he'd be doing the work when he can just get the robots to dig. So he orders them to get to that. That's when Sonic and his friends come up and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing? I'm not hurting anybody." And then Sonic's like, "Yeah, I guess this does seem pretty harmless." And harmless? Show them how harmless we can be! So two of the praying mantis robots go into the sunflowers and pick some sunflowers and hold them up. And like, they can't get my sense of humor. I meant attack them! So all the robots go on the attack, and we get another action beat where they smash all the robots. You know, it seems kind of harsh to smash up these poor robots because they do seem to have a decent amount of sentience to them. I mean, I feel I felt the same way when I watched Transformers Prime and watched the Vehicons get slaughtered by the dozen. Like, anything that shows signs that it displays a basic level of sapience, you just kind of feel bad watching them get torn apart by the dozens. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of harsh. Anyway, so all the robots are destroyed. Dr. Eggman orders his biggest robot, Drillbot, which is basically repurposed Negabot with, drills, and to attack. And they fight it off, and Sonic manages to cut off its arm. The arm, with the drill still spinning, falls into the ground and burrows under. So, yeah, that's how that ends. So that's that sequence, and pretty much Eggman's contribution for the episode. Highlights: Tails gets to use the Enter Beam again, and Styx is proficient in yet another weapon, this time a big old club. Alright, so we see Sonic and friends retreat and all that good stuff, yada yada. Alright, so the next day some weird stuff happens. There's slimy footprints everywhere. Somebody ate a bunch of meh burgers. Styx is leading everyone, sniffing on the footprint trail like a bloodhound. After they pass by meh burger, maybe some wild animals got in. And Dave the Intruder says, "No, and it's been tested. Animals won't eat this stuff." And then they go by some dude's house, and I was like, glad you arrived here 5 hours too late. Like, did he take anything? Just some bandages and my faith in humanity. And they go fighting. They go following the scent trail on further, and they arrive at Amy's house. And everything looks pretty normal until Amy sits on her couch and sits in a slime puddle. And then it turns out that there's a guy in the bathroom, and it's a froglodyte, one of the creatures that lives behind a sealed door in Styx's burrow from season 1. He's dressed like with a hippie vest, so it's all tie-dye, and Amy at first they all want to pound him for being a froglodyte, but he says he comes in peace, and he's like totally hippie. He's a chill bro that doesn't want any conflict. It's all fun and games. So they asked what he did, what he was doing, and he said that when he arrived on the surface, he was starving, and he injured himself. So he tells his life story about how he lived in the Froglodyte Kingdom, but he was always an outcast there. And everybody kneeled to worship at their statue. He would stand like, "Why are we doing this?" When everybody was doing the military drills to practice taking over the surface when they would get a chance, he didn't want to fight. Everybody always ate the same food, and he like, "Is there a vegan option?" Like, a vegan option? And then Sonic interrupts, like, "Wait a minute. If you're a vegan, how come you ate those meh burgers? There's no meat in those things. They're just shredded newspapers and library paste." I'm not sure if library paste means bookbinding glue or if it's made out of that Elmer's white glue stuff you can use in the library. Either way, that stuff is technically edible and made mostly out of starch. Bookbinding glue is technically a type of gelatin, and white paste is organic and made mostly out of starch. So both are digestible. Can't vouch for the taste, but they are digestible. And then the newspapers would add fiber, and not much else. When they asked why he stole the bandages, he said that he cut himself on one of those Mehrburger Happy Meal toys because they're really dangerous. There's just nothing good about Mehrburger. Why do they call Mehrburger mediocre? Do you not know that mediocre means average? If you're mediocre, it means you perform at par, no better, no worse. But everything suggests that Mehrburger is actually a terrible place. So, call bad bad. Stop downplaying mediocre. Alright, so of course, they don't want, Og has said that he doesn't want to fight, and they're not going to ruckus up some dude who's not challenging them. But he can't stay at Amy's place because he's sliming the place up and she's a bit of a clean freak. So Styx offers to let him stay in her burrow because she has an entire room dedicated to slime. But since that's where the sealed entrance to the Froglodyte Kingdom is, they don't trust him to go there. So Sonic says that he's going to stay at his shack so they can keep an eye on him. And when he tries to go to sleep in his hammock, it turns out that he has a lot of annoying little habits. I'm guessing being a subterranean person, he's just not used to having a day-night cycle, so he doesn't know he's supposed to sleep at night. So he starts playing a pan flute, and this is something that I expect only people my age would get. The song he plays, I heard the notes of it. Do, 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 do. Like, he was playing the background music for Scratch and Grounder when they did the Supersonic Search and Smash Squad scenes from the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon. Like, when we had the bad guys who were all interacting with each other without the heroes in the scene, that's the background music they played. Da, 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 da. I mean, this show has had, like, a lot of not songs in it, like last week with its Pacific Rim and that is not unusual. Thank you, some guy in the comments actually, like, it's not unusual to be loved by everyone. That song that was in last week's episode. That was the song, I forgot it, but thanks to a guy in the comments, he reminded me. We have, I keep on distracting myself. So yeah, I really like that. Alright, so Sonic, not able to get any sleep between the guys' meditations and stuff. He sends him over to Tails' house like, he's your problem now. So Tails starts showing him around the workshop, but he keeps on bad-mouthing technology. He says that the Froglodytes were really messed up by ancient technology, and he says the ancients over-relied on their technology, and that was one of the causes of their downfall. They're really bringing up the ancients a lot this season. I'm hoping that actually leads to something, and it's not just, it was in the video game, so let's keep mentioning it. I hope it actually has payoff within the show. So Tails shows him a can opener, and the lid for the can opener almost hits him in the head. He barely ducks it as it embeds itself in a pillar behind him. He's like, see, the machines are out to get us. So Tails, frustrated with his anti-tech stance, decides to pawn him off to Knuckles. Knuckles is punching a tree, and he's like, does that tree owe you money, bro? Like, not this one. I'm just trying to get the coconuts. So Og says that instead of punching the tree, he should just wait and nature will provide. So they sit by the tree all day, and Knuckles is frustrated, like, I wasted an entire day because of you, come on. So he grabs Og and drags him away, and then like a whole bunch of coconuts all fall out of the tree at the same time. That actually happened at me at work today. Like, I wasn't able to get something to work, and just at the edge of the customer's patience, that's when it worked. Like, maybe we should all just act like we're frustrated and about to give up so that the universe will give us our things sooner. So finally, Knuckles just takes him to Styx' burrow, and they hang out and get along. Alright, so We go into the next scene where the Sergeant Froglodyte, who actually talks like the Sergeant from Full Metal Jacket, just so that we have another reference for the episode, they go into Ogg's room and they find the drill. Oh, I completely forgot to mention how Ogg got to the surface, didn't I? Durr! Yeah, so it turns out that Drillbot's drill, when it fell on the ground, it went all the way down into the Froglodyte domain, specifically into Ogg's room. So he took it as an opportunity to escape and live among the surface dwellers. So yeah, that's how Ogg ended up on the surface. So all the other Froglodytes come to the surface and launch an attack on the village. At first, when the village is being attacked, they assume that Ogg was a Froglodyte spy the whole time and was lying to them. And so Sonic confronts Tails about it, who passes the buck to Knuckles, who says, that's not, don't look at me, I left them with sticks. You have the wrong number? He puts on a fake accent, and when he realizes that you weren't supposed to leave him with sticks, that's when he realizes his mistake. At least he realized his mistake. He's getting a little bit smarter. So Sonic runs into Styx's burrow and accuses Ogg, and then runs to the Froglodyte cave entrance, which is still locked and sealed. Like, oh. So Sonic apologizes to Ogg for throwing out the accusation, and then Styx is like, usually crazy baseless accusations are my thing. I really do love Styx. I think Styx might be one of my favorite newly introduced characters in all of Sonic canon. Alright, so... Alright. I did it again. I just completely lost my own train of thought because I stopped to praise the show for a second. So they go back to the village to continue fighting the Froglodytes, and it turns out that Ogg is actually a highly skilled martial artist, and he fights off all the Froglodytes that attack him, including the Sergeant Froglodyte. And when everybody else starts to imitate his martial arts stances, the Froglodytes panic and retreat back to the hole in the burrow that they dug with the Drillbot's drill. Then Knuckles seals off their burrow with a giant rock, and everything is okay. So Ogg can continue living on the surface, but he's decided that instead of mooching off with Styx, he's gonna find his own place and make his own way in the world. And the guys are pretty cool, but in large doses it can be a bit much. And that's how the episode ends. I really like this episode. Okay. First of all, it has continuity. They're talking more about the ancients and the search for mech suits, like from a couple weeks ago, Sonic found a new mech suit, and it has continuity with the first season as well. We're seeing the Froglodytes, which were an enemy from the first season. So, I love it when these little comedy series can actually show continuity in a meaningful way. They're not just calling back; they're actually showing consequences for things. And quite frankly, they got me with the Scratch and Grounder background music. They got me with the Adventures of Sonic music. It tickled my nostalgia bones. I couldn't. That affected me a lot more than it really should have, but hey. Anyway, there hasn't been an episode this season that I disliked so far. Although, I guess that's not saying a lot because I've liked this entire series. The only episode that I actively disliked was the guilt tripping, because those stupid Golgobas were so annoying. So yeah, I did not like the Golgobas, and guilt tripping was the one episode of this whole thing that I didn't like. But everything else, it's been good. This whole series has been fine. So yeah, this was a fantastic episode. I really liked it. And I like how this show really has its own identity. It has its own villains, its own new characters it introduces, and it can do callbacks to other Sonic continuity without relying on them. It is its own thing. I know a lot of people. I've seen some people that are down on this show, but they're down on it because they can't help but compare it to previous continuity, like like, I'm guilty of it too. Like, I really dislike how Knuckles is portrayed in this series. But I gotta admit, within context of this universe, he still works as a character. So, there's just, this show is good. I mean, it's its own little separate part of Sonic the Hedgehog canon. And, I guess I can do a whole episode just based on what I mean by Sonic the Hedgehog canon, because it actually does come up quite a bit in the fan threads that I'm a member of a lot of times. But, that's all story for another day. This episode was fine. I highly recommend this show still, and, well, I guess there's nothing for me to do but sign off and enjoy my dinner. See you guys next week.